Hi, this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today's layout is another in our series for my Ireland visit. And this is the last one from the library at Trinity College. This is a layout that follows the sketch from our April virtual crop, sketch number 4, and it is a 2-page sketch that we're following for this one. And I really like the way it turned out. I hope you do too. Let's check out my workspace and we'll get started and work our way through that. All right, so here's my workspace for today. And this is the sketch that we're going to do right here. This one with the flags, which I'm excited about. I think this is going to be a really fun one. And I don't think it'll be too terribly difficult. So I pulled a Boardermaker cartridge called Timeless Tweed from my collection. If you have this one, I think it really lends itself to being suitable for what we're doing today. I'm using the papers from our Croptoberfest of 2023, the What a Hoot papers, and I also am pairing that with a piece of blue cardstock and a piece of craft cardstock. And I think the craft cardstock is not a CM product. That's something that I got from my favorite craft store, but it is acid and lignin free, so it'll be safe to use in my album. And I don't know, I just feel like the tweed pattern works well for this, to go with this. For some reason, when I think of tweed, I think of these type of colors. So this is the last layout we're doing for the library. And so I'm going to go ahead and just finish this up. And when I think of libraries, I guess I just think of very studious things like tweed. So I've gone ahead and trimmed my photos so that they will be the sizes that I need them to be to fit. Oh, I also have permanent and repositionable adhesive. So we'll get to those later when we are adhering things, but just so that you are aware that that is going to be needed. So here are the photos that are going to go on our layout for today. And you can see, I think I mentioned in another video that my youngest daughter took it upon herself to go through and take a picture of every single one of the busts that are in this library. And I think, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that every single aisle, at the head of every single aisle, and they lined both sides of the library, there was a bust of a prominent scholarly figure. You can see these are Socrates, Boyle, Plato. This is Augusta Gregory, who I am not familiar with, but she was a female, and I thought that was very cool that her photo was amongst all of these notable scholars. Locke and Newton also. And then also is this fantastic harp. And this harp is called the Brian Boru harp, and I took a picture of the explanation here, but let me just explain that this is the oldest surviving Irish harp, and it is also the model for the insignia they used for Ireland. Let's see, it talks about what it's made out of and some of the history of it, that it was restored and restrung in 1961. So it's from the 18th century. So pretty cool artifact that they have here. Really, really neat. And the etchings that are on it are just beautiful. So I have several pictures of the harp and different family members with it. But then I also have these pictures here which show us or remind us of the process that they were undergoing in the library of restoring all of the books that had been sitting there for so very, very, very long and had dust collected. This is a picture of the vacuum that they used that reminds me of that attachment on my own vacuum that has like the hairs and stuff on it. And they would run it along the tops of the pages to suck up all of the dust that had settled on top of those very delicate pages, and then they would go and digitize these books. So they had just a constant video feed going in several places where you could watch and see exactly what they were doing, which was cool. Very, very cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move these to the side so that we can cut some paper, and then we'll get to assembling this. So you can see we're going to need several different flag pieces. There's actually a piece that goes on either side of both of the rows of photos here, and then two pieces that flank it on the outside. So bear with me and I will walk you through how we're going to do this. The designer sheets are the pages we're going to use for the flags, of course. And we're going to use the blue, excuse me, we're going to use the blue as that nice base to mount our pictures on. So it'll be kind of like a mat, but just barely, because these photos are 4 inches wide, and the mat is only going to be about 1/8 of an inch on each side. So we're going to cut two pieces that are 4 1/4 by 12. So there's one, and then we'll do 2. And I am using my grid lines to line up my paper. Those of you who have difficulty or feel like after you have measured and cut your pieces that something is just a little off, sometimes rather than using the measurements up here, I will just use the grid that's on my trimmer, and then that way I feel like I'm a little more consistent. And as long as I'm consistent, then it usually works out. Okay, so then I'm going to take my craft paper and I'm going to cut 4 pieces at 3/4 of an inch. And this, again, this is a sketch that was designed for the April virtual crop. If you would like to see it or any of the other virtual crop sketches, just go ahead and log into the Creative Memories blog and look for the April virtual crop and you can find it. It'll give you measurements, it'll give you the sketches that I'm showing you here. You can print them off or just look at them on your computer screen, whatever makes you happy. All right, so we've got one more at 3/4 of an inch. There we go. And now we're going to cut these pieces. Okay, so these banners are going to be 3 by 6, and one of them is going horizontally, and one of them's going vertically. I don't know why that word wasn't coming. Okay, so one horizontal and one vertical, and when you have directional papers like this, that means that we need to cut them going 2 different directions. There is really no way around it. So I need a strip, or I need a piece that is 6. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I think this will work better. That way I'm not sacrificing the whole paper. I'm going to cut this in half at 6 inches. Okay, and then set that piece aside. Then I'm going to turn this horizontally and cut it at 3 inches. Okay, so there's my horizontal. I'm going to make 2 different stacks. There's my horizontal piece. I'm going to cut another piece of this that is 6 inches. This is extra. I'm going to turn this and cut it at 3 for my vertical piece. All right, so that way my trees are going in the right direction. All right, now I need two of those, so I'm going to, and that may not make any sense, but we're going to use this as another one of our flags. So I'm going to go ahead and I think we're going to do this one vertically and this one horizontally. And then, does that make sense? Should we do it up and down? Yeah, I think we should do it up and down. Okay, then we're going to use this one. And this one has this really delicate tree pattern on this side, which is really, really lovely. And I think what I'm going to do is just cut it so that I can save the majority of this large tree over here and possibly use that on another layout because it's so nice. We'll set that aside, and then we'll do the same thing with this one. So I have owls on the back. The owls are definitely directional. My trees are definitely directional. So we need one there. We need one. Okay. I'm sorry, I have to do it this way, otherwise I get confused. So I need another one going across and then two vertical. And my vertical ones, I think I want to be more of the trees. So we're going to cut this so that I have this at 6 inches. Then this one can be my owls going across. And this one can be my vertical trees and my owls going across. Perfect. Okay, so there are our flags. We've got our strips. We've got our bases. I need to punch a design to go between my flags and my craft paper. We're going to use the blue because I like the blue, and it'll look nicer on top of this, so that will work. Or what we could do, nope, I'm having an epiphany. Give me a second. I'm remembering the plan as we speak. Okay, what we could do is go ahead and punch it out of this paper, and then it will have a little variance to it, which I kind of like that idea. So let's go ahead and do that. And it will blend in a little bit of an area where that flag is, the flag that we have cut in this same paper, but I think it will still be okay. So we're just going to punch and slide. Okay, so there's one. All right. And there's two. I like that. I like the variance in the color of that. And we only need 2 of these, so I'm just going to go ahead and clean this off. All right, so now we're going to do some assembly. So let me go ahead and put these up here so that we'll get to them in just a minute. Actually, I take that back. Before we do some assembly, we're going to cut some flags. So this piece, because it's 3 inches wide, is too wide to go in my flag punch. That means I get to cut these all by hand. So you do that by taking your paper, carefully folding it, but try not to crease it, so that the 2 corners at the bottom are together. Then you're going to start on the outside corner. You're going to eyeball about a 1/2 inch up and cut towards the center. And when you do that, you get a really nice flag. All right. This actually looks like, I'm just looking at this, and it looks like it's probably a little deeper than a 1/2 inch. So let me try that again, and we'll go up another 1/2 inch or so. It's a little harder to start again, but that's okay. All right, so there we go. And that is maybe a little shy of a full inch, but pretty close. All right, so there's one. And I'm just going to go ahead and work my way through all of these and cut all of their flags. If you're concerned about them not being consistent, excuse me, you could measure and mark them so that you can make sure that you're getting them exactly the same. But I'm not really going to worry about it for the purposes of this layout here. All right, now we can assemble. Okay, so we've got our verticals, we've got our horizontals. Now we need our pages. Scooting those over just a little. We'll bring the pages back down. And actually, I think I'm going to work on these one at a time. So we'll do the right side first. Okay. Set those up there. And we're going to do these vertical. Actually, I'm going to do the ones across the top first. So I need 2 of these strips and 1 of the blue. And I'm going to move these guys back down here so that I don't get them misaligned. And I need my vertical ribbons. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and line up these guys so that they are secured and not floating around. Okay. So I'm just going to use my permanent adhesive, a little bit in each corner, and I'm going to line these guys up flush with the edge. The measurement on these is they are 4 inches high and they are 3 inches wide. So they're a 4x3 photo, and I've got 4 of them, and they are just going to be right up against each other with no breathing room, which if they were alive they probably would hate. But that's okay. We are just gonna stick them together like this. Play-Doh is going askew. All right. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take one of these 3/4 inch strips. I'm going to just put several bits of adhesive across there, and we're going to start in the center, and this is going to be flush with the top edge of my page. I turned my page upside down to do this in case you're confused, but hopefully with those pictures upside down it will help you see that this is upside down. Okay, so just like that. Then we're going to add some adhesive to the back of this piece. My daughter's sneezing her head off upstairs. Bless you!
Thank you!
There we go. And we're going to add this piece, which I didn't need to turn over. I was just replying to someone just a minute ago on their comment on my channel about the fact that I turn over cardstock that doesn't need to be turned over to add adhesive. Although in truth, some cardstocks do get a little bit of a ridge from, like a dent from where you have cut it, if that makes any sense at all. So maybe that's why I've grown to doing that. Who knows? All right. So now we need to decide on the order that these are going to go in, and I think we're going to do it like this. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to go ahead and use my repositionable adhesive. Anytime I'm adhering something with a point like this or something that has holes in it, I grab my repositionable adhesive because I can adhere it all the way to the tip without worrying too much about where my adhesive is going, which makes my life a lot less stressful. So I'm all for that. And it's also nice when you can get all the way to the tip and adhere that all down so that it's not popping up, catching on things. We're going to see how accurate my eyeballing of my flags was by adding these right next to each other. All right, one more. This one with the trees is very light, but I feel like it's good. There is enough of a pattern there that it's good. All right, then I'm going to grab one of these punched pieces and see how it blends right in with this one, because that's the same paper it was cut from. But I think if I kind of put it on the half, as it were, I think it will be okay. It'll be just enough to kind of add to the page. We could do blue, the blue side. Do I like that better? Or do I want it more subdued? Actually, I like the blue. I think maybe I'll flip it over and do the blue side. All right, let's do the blue side. It'll be fun. It'll be fun, she says. All right. When you add adhesive to a punched piece like this or similar to this, you should be very careful, because especially on this end right here that's open, They tear the designer paper will tear very easily if you put too much pressure down on it. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going to line up the center line of this punch. It's handy that it has one, with the lower edge of that 3/4 inch strip, so that I can keep it straight and I don't have to measure or be too concerned. Perfect. Now we're going to add these guys, and these guys are not matted, which is okay. They're kind of extra. The sketch does not show photos in this area, but I felt like I needed to add just a couple of other folks, so these guys are going in here. Okay, so there's those guys. Now we're going to do the left side, and we'll come back and do embellishments on the whole thing at the end. So the left side, and let's just move. We're going to move these photos first because we're going to mat them. So let me grab this and these two. Oh, actually I cut 5. That's what happens sometimes when I'm talking and I can't not paying attention. All right, so let's go ahead and get these put in or put on. And actually the sketch shows 2 4x6 photos, but I had once again I had more photos that I wanted on this page, so I decided to just trim down a couple, and that way I could fit a little bit more. This one is the money shot, as they say. It's the shot of the entire harp, which is lovely, and with my son. And so that one's going in the middle of my page, because that one is more significant. I feel like it needs more focus. And then we'll put this little one at the top, which is just an alternate view of that film that they were showing us of the restorative work that they're doing. All right, now we're going to take one of these, one of the 3/4 inch strips, and it's going to go right next to the center, right along the jeeping on your page, or right along the edge of your page if you're using a base page to build your layout on. Then we're going to flip this over. Come on, catch. Come on. What is going on with my piece? Alright. And this will line up right along the edge of the craft paper. Then we'll do one more piece of this craft paper at 3/4 inch on this edge. Okay, now we'll do our flags down the outer edge, and they're starting with the lightest one at the bottom and working up to the dark color, so that's what we'll do too. Like so. So bear with me here and we'll get these all put on. All right. Now time for our punched piece, which we're going to do the same so that the blue side shows. All right. And I'm putting the open end, the end that's not completely, the punch isn't completely closed, on the same end with the matching paper, and that way it will be less noticeable that that is open. I hope. So again, just lining up that center, the center cut with the lower or the left-hand edge of the craft strip. And then we have these two pictures to add. Again, the initial sketch does not show extra photos on the flags. Well, it does actually show an extra 3.5 by 3.5 square, 2 3.5 by 3.5 squares on this side, and I am adding I'm adding 2 photos instead of just 1. And I'm just putting it about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of my punch strip. You could use a sticker strip here as well. I just didn't, since I'm using National Scrapbook Day papers, I did not have a 12-inch sticker that would work. I probably could have pulled something out of Tonals or something like that, but I just thought maybe punching a strip would be just fine too. All right, so here's our sketch. I'm going to just slide that up there so you can see it and compare what we've done. And I'm also going to, gosh, I just keep fighting with that, as my husband would say. Why are you fighting with that sketch? Because that's how I roll. Okay, here are the 2 pages next to each other. And let's go ahead and look at some embellishments. So I pulled out the embellishment pack from Croptoberfest and thought, well, I'll just use some things from that because everything matches. So why fight it, you know? Why worry? Now I can journal on this flag right here with the trees. That's what's meant by these lines right here. They're suggesting that you go ahead and journal there, which is awesome and a great idea. And then they're suggesting that an embellishment should go right here. Of course, I can't do that because I have photos right there. But they're also suggesting an embellishment go over here. I'm going to have to just make this up on my own and not follow the sketch for this part because it's not going to work for what I want to do. So I'm going to use this little cute little tag as my base for my embellishment, and and then I'm going to come over here and maybe add something down here, and then maybe I could use this one. I don't think I want that right there, but we could use the blue instead of the wood. What should we do? What should we do? Yeah, I think I like that one better. All right, and then I've got feathers and owls got 3 super cute little owls. If you remember this embellishment pack, the owls were super cute, I think. And then, and I think this is perfect for a library too, you know, the wise old owl. All right. Then I've got a couple of hearts. I've got all you need is love, but I think I'm not going to use that unless I can cover up. I suppose I could use it and just cover it with this other one, like that. That actually would be cute. Okay, so let's just make some embellishment clusters here real quick. I'm going to cover this up best I can with this other heart. You can still see a little bit of the words on the very edges, but that's okay. It'll be all right. And then I'm going to use this over here on this side, since this is such a dark color. Maybe we'll use a quill, a feather and a quill over here, like so. Maybe we'll use these cute little owls. We need them on here too, so we'll put him there, and this one over here, and maybe do this guy and a little heart right here in the middle, just to kind of accent the journaling that we'll have there. Do I like that? We'll need to adjust this just a tad. All right, let me get these attached, and then we'll adhere them to the layout. All right, there we go. I believe that is a wrap for this particular one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure that you comment as many times as you can on all of these videos. We are very nearly, or we may have already reached one of the goals, and as soon as we get to 50 and we are to 950 and we're almost there, then we'll go ahead and do a drawing. And never fear, your name will stay in the pot for the next drawing. So just keep on commenting, because all of your comments help. Thanks so much for joining me today, and until next time, I hope you have many more creative moments. Have a great day now.